Roman numerals. Now, we have touched on Roman numerals a little bit this year as we've looked at the chapters of various books that begin with Roman numerals instead of a regular number. So Roman numerals, you might recognize the word Rome in there. So we are talking about ancient Rome, so a few thousand years ago. And they had a different numbering system. We have the base 10 system of counting. They did not have that. They didn't use ones and tens and hundreds in the same way that we do. So we're going to take a look at their system, and today you're going to learn how to count all the way up to 100 using Roman numerals. Impossible, you say? Oh no, it is not impossible. Okay, here we go. The first few will seem familiar to you, and then as we go on, there'll be some new parts, but then there'll be a lot of repeating, okay? So, number one in regular numbers, we write as one stick. Now, you could write Roman numeral like that, but that can get confusing with other things, so the best thing to do is put a line at the top and the bottom of all your Roman numerals. Okay, so one stick means one. Two sticks means two. And then we put a line at the top and at the bottom. Okay? Boys and girls, if you haven't done so far, I want you to put at the top of your page the words Roman numerals. And I want you to be writing down these numbers as I do them with you. So pause and get caught up. Okay, one is one stick, two is two sticks. So take a guess what three is going to be. Come on, don't just sit there and wait for me to think of it. You guess. Right. You guys are geniuses. Three sticks means three. Okay? Now, if you remember from before, 4 looks different. So there is this thing called the rule of 3 in Roman numerals, where if you use a symbol, so a stick is a symbol, that means 1, you can only use up to 3 in a row of that symbol. Otherwise, it just gets too messy and too hard to count. So now that we've used 3 sticks, 4 cannot look like that. We can't have 4 sticks. That's wrong. Okay? So let's skip over here to 5 for a minute. Remember the symbol for 5 is V. Okay. So we want 1 less than V. So we're going to put the 1 in front of the V, and that's going to mean 1 less than or 1 before 5. Okay, so if you need to get caught up on that, pause your video. Okay, 6. We're going to work with the V for 5. So 5 plus 1, so now this is adding 1 on the right-hand side, is 6. And I want you to think if you can figure out what 7 would be. Okay, so 5 plus 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Okay, there's your symbol for 7. 8. Pause the video and see if you can figure out 8 on your own. Okay, so 5, 6, 7, 8. So V and then 3 ones or sticks. Now, we've got to remember this 3 rule. So now we've used up 3 in a row. So we cannot do V plus 4 sticks for 9. So it helps to go down to number 10. And remember, number 10 is X. So I want you to copy that out, pause the video, and see if you can figure out what 9 is. Okay, just like with 5 and 4, we had V means 5, and we put 1 stick in front of the 5 to symbolize 1 less. That's exactly what we're going to do with 9. we're going to put an X, but we're going to put a stick in front of it, which means 1 less than 9, or 10, sorry, which is 9. Okay, so make sure you have those all written out before you go on to the next page. Okay, now we're going to do the numbers from 10 to 20, but I want you to be looking for something that is familiar. So what do you notice that's going to be about the same about all of these numbers as what we did over here? Okay, so we've got 10. Okay, I just repeated 10 on this page again because it was a good place to start. You don't have to repeat it. Now we've got 11. So what would 11 be? 10 plus 1. So there's 11. Okay, what would 12 be and what would 13 be? I want you to pause the video and see if you can figure those out. Okay, so 12 would be 10, plus 1 is 11, plus 1 is 12. 13 would be 10, plus 1 is 11, 1 is 12, and 1 more makes 13. Now, are you noticing anything about these numbers that is similar to what we did before? I hope you are. Okay, 14. So let's look at this for a moment. So this one up here was 10, which is the X, plus 1, which is the 1. This one was 10, which is the X, plus 2, which is the 2 sticks. This was 10 plus 3, which is the 3 sticks. So if you can, try to figure out what this one would be. It would be 10, you know what the symbol is for 10, plus 4. Look back up and see what the symbol is for 4. Pause the video until you have that figured out. Okay, the symbol for 10 is X. The symbol for 4 is 1V. So 10 plus 4 is 14. So you actually have to do a little bit of adding in your head when you're reading those numbers. That's different than our system. We just read the numbers, right? We look at this and we just say 14. We might know that that's 10 plus 4, but we don't have to be able to read the number. We can just say 14 because we know what that number is. So a little bit different. Okay, now this one you should be able to figure out 10 plus 5. So don't be a cheater and just wait for me. I want you to pause the video and figure out what is the 10, what is the 5. Pause the video. Okay, 10 is X, 5 is V. 10 plus 5, 15. Now, I want you to see if you can figure out 16, 17, 18, and 19. So remembering this, how do you get 16? 10 plus 6. How do you get 17? 10 plus 7. And I want you to see if you can figure out all of those, okay? So pause the video, and then when you have written down your guesses for 16, 17, 18, and 19, you can check and see if you got them right. Okay, 10 plus 16. So 10 is easy. We know 10 now is X. What was the sign for 6? You got to look back up. What did we put beside 6? V1. That's the sign for 6. Okay, so give yourself a check mark if you got that right. 17 means 10 plus 7, so 10 is X. The sign for 7 was V11, which is 5, 6, 7. So the only difference between 16 and 17, you got one more stick right there. So give yourself a mark if you got that one right. 18 means 10 plus 8. So X for 10. V111 for 8. Give yourself a check if you got that one. Okay, 19. 10 plus 9. So the symbol for 10, X. The symbol for 9, you had to look up. The symbol for 9 was 1x. So this part here means 10. This part here means 9. 10 plus 9, 19. Boys and girls, I don't know about you, but I love certain numbers in Roman numerals, and especially the ones that have 1x in them. They just kind of look cool. Okay, so give yourself a check if you got that one right. Okay, what do we do about 20? Well, what's 20? 10 plus 10. So how would we rate that? 10, 20. And there's the sign for 20. Okay, so this one is 10. This one is 20. 2 X's. 10 plus 10 is 20. Okay, pause that until you're all caught up. Then you can go on to the next page. Okay, I don't want you to write out this page, but I want you to look at something here. I've written it out differently for you. So on the top, I have our regular numbers written here. And then in the next row, I have the numbers 1 to 10. And then the second row, I have the numbers 11 to 20. But I want you to look at what is the same. So what is the same about this number? Now, this is the number 11. Okay, so this one has 1 stick for 1. This one has a 1 as well, but there is the X in front. And look what's the same about this number. Okay, so the tens is the same. The tens is 1, and there's a 1 in the ones column. Look at number 2. We've got 2 sticks right here, and we've got 2 sticks right here. This number, if we wrote it out, would be 12. Look at what is the same. The ones is the same. So the only thing that's different is the 10 in the front of each of these numbers. Otherwise, the numbers are exactly the same. Whoops, did I make a mistake on that one? Oh, that should be an X right there. Okay, otherwise, the top and the bottom are exactly the same, just the way 3 and 13 look very similar because the ones are the same. 5 and 15, 6 and 16, 7 and 17, 8, 18, 9, 19, and then 20. The tens changes. Okay, so I hope you're seeing a pattern there. So now what's going to happen when we get to 21? Well, how do we do 20? X is 20. And how do we do 21? 1 stick. So look at that. All of this here, very similar. How would we do 22? So this was 21. Don't copy this down, boys and girls, because this is very messy. I just want you to be looking at the chart so you can see that we're repeating this pattern over and over again. Okay, so this, I want 22 now. That's 20. And now I'm going to add the 2. Okay, so look up and down, see the similarities. Every time we have 2 sticks, 2 sticks, 2 sticks for the 2. It's the tens that keeps changing. Okay, this one would be 23. So 2 tens, that's 20, and 3 sticks. I think you're getting the idea. So let's go to one that's maybe a little bit different. Let's go to the 25. So now we would have 20. And the V would make 5. You can see where some of these are going to get really long. I'm going to do 19 over here because I need the room. 19 is going to be, oh no, not 19. I want to do 18. That one kind of looks long. 20 and then 8. See how big that number gets? Okay. So look, with our base 10 counting, look at this. Our numbers are always 2 digits, 28. 25, 16. But look at what happens to Roman numerals. Some of those numbers get really long to write. So you can understand why it was not a perfect system and why our base 10 system of counting is preferred, because this gets quite messy and quite involved. And there is another problem with it later on as well. Okay, and then what do you think 30 would be? 10 was 1x, 20 was 2 x's. What about 30? You got it. 3 x's. Okay, and that's our 3 rule. We can go up to 3 and then no more. Okay, so here's a little challenge for you. On the next page, I would like you to write 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and then over here 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Okay, now you know that all the 20 part is all going to be 2 x's. And you can look up at your numbers 1 to 10 to figure out how to do this part right here. So the challenge is to write out those numbers 21 to 30, pause the video, and then when you're ready you can check and see if you got them all correct. Okay, 21 should be 2 x's and 1 stick. 21. Give yourself a check mark if you got that right. 22, 2 x's, 2 sticks. And oh yes, they look better if you do this. Okay, give yourself check marks if you get that right. 23, 2 x's for 10, 20, and then 3 sticks for 3. 24, 2 x's, and the symbol for 4 was 1V. 25, I think that one looks kind of cool. 2 x's and V. 26, V1. 27, you can see they're getting longer here. 2 sticks on this one. 28, that was that long one we talked about. 29, which looks super cool, doesn't it? Sure does. And 30. Okay, check all your answers from that page before you move on. If you've got a mistake, I want you to erase it and fix it because we're going to need these for tomorrow. Okay? All right, 31 to 40. Okay, so here we go. 31, 32, 33, 34, and 35. Gee, do you think this will be the same as what we just did? I think it will be very similar. Mrs. Ratzlaff's using her sarcastic voice today. Okay, the trick comes when you get to 40. So, what is 3? 3 means 30 plus 1. How do we write 30? 10, 10, 20, 30. How do we write 1? 1 stick. Oh, goodness sakes. Okay, it doesn't like that. There we go. Okay, so I would like you to pause the video and try this entire page. Use your 3 x's for the 30 part, and you should know the rest of the numbers by now. You can look back up. Okay, good for you if you tried all of those. Here we go. 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. Look at how long these are getting. 38. Okay, so make sure you got 3 x's and 3 1s in there. 30. I love this one. 9. Looks cool. Now, what do we do about 40? We cannot use 4 x's. So, in order to know 40, we have to know the symbol for 50. Just like for 4, we needed to know what 5 was, and for 9, we needed to know what 10 was. So the hint is that the symbol for 50 is L, the letter L. So pause a minute and see if you can figure out the symbol for 40. Okay, if L is 50, what is 40? 40 is 10 less than 50. So if we want it to be less, we have to put it on the left-hand side. So the symbol for 40 is XL. Okay, now this gets a bit tricky to write with these things because you don't want to cover up the bottom of that L symbol. Okay, so make sure it's not touching at the bottom, or just leave it off. Okay, and just do it like that. Okay, so XL is the symbol for 40. All right, you know what? I think we probably only will get up to 50 today. Let's see. Okay, so we know what 40 is. You should be able to do any of these numbers in 40, but we're not going to do them all right now, okay? So we've learned basically all we need to learn now. As long as you know your numbers 1 to 10, and you know how to use 3 in a row, and you know that 50 is L and XL is 40, I think we can figure out other stuff. So let's just do a random number here. So let's do the number 47. So how would we do 47? What's the symbol for 40? So think again, 40 plus 7. The symbol for 40 was XL. And what's the symbol for 7? V11. Okay, let's try another number. We know that L is 50, so let's write that in. Okay, L is 50. So let's see if you can figure out the symbol for 54. So 54 is 50 plus 4. L is your 50. 4 is 1V. That's 54. Okay, so you should be able to figure out any number in the 50s now. 50 is L, and then you just add your other number. Okay, let's see if you can figure out this one. 59. Pause the video, see if you can figure that out. Okay, so L is 50. 9 is 1x. There you go, 59. Okay, all right, now what about 60? What do we do about 60? So let's write a little list here. We're going to do 60, 70, 80, and 90. Because once you know what the symbol is for the 60, 70, 80, and 90, you know how to do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 60 would be L. So that's 50 plus how many makes 60? 10. So we're going to write the X after the L. So 50 plus 10. Okay, so that's your 60. 70 would be 50 plus 10 more, 60 plus 10 more, 70. 80 would be L, which is 50, 60, 70, 80. And what do we do with 90? Because we have to remember that 3 rule. We can't have more than 3 X's. So 90, to know 90, you have to know what 100 is. 100 is the letter C. So what would 90 be? Pause your video and see if you can figure that out. Okay, so 90 is 10 less than 100. So we're going to put an X in front of the 100. So 10 less than 100 is 90. And there you go. You've learned all your numbers up to 100. I'm going to give you 5 little numbers that I want you to try to write out on your own. And you can post just those numbers, or you can write just these 5 questions in the comment box. So here you go. I would like you to figure out the Roman numeral for 39. We did that one together already, so you should be able to do that. I would like you to figure out the Roman numeral for 56. The Roman numeral for 72. The Roman numeral for 87. And a very cool Roman numeral, 99. So if you can figure out those 5 Roman numerals and post those, that would be great. And that is the only math we are doing today.